Hello, this is JM183, and this is my review of the Canadian Grand Prix, which has just finished, and it was a fairly decent race. So there was loads more overtaken than there have been in some of the races this season. But yeah, first things first, Hamilton did win the race. He absolutely dominated it from Valtteri Bottas in second place. Mercedes 1-2 with Ricciardo rounding out the podium. And then, yeah, it was an interesting race. Verstappen was looking like he was going to be a key player to the race after he got an amazing start and jumped from fifth up to second place until his Red Bull just decided to die on him. So that was unfortunate, and yeah, pretty disappointing for Verstappen. As I did manage to predict that one Red Bull would retire from the race, but unfortunately I predicted Ricciardo would retire, so not too good for my prediction there. But still, fourth place then was Sebastian Vettel, who got a very, very good comeback drive from, I think he dropped down to last place pretty much after he got front wing damage on lap 1. After Verstappen went round his outside and took a little bit of his front wing off, and then Vettel had to pit on lap 9. And yeah, very, very well done to do a good comeback past the two Force Indias at the end in the last few laps. But that brings me on to the two Force Indias, and oh my, have I got a lot to say about these. Like, Perez, just get out of the way. What on earth was he doing? It was about 25 laps when Ocon was quicker and had fresher tyres to try and attack Ricciardo. And Perez is like, no, I'm going to stay in front actually. I don't fancy letting my teammate through to try and get a podium. I'm going to just park the bus instead. So Perez is an absolute melt. Like, what it annoyed me an awful lot this race, Sergio Perez, and I'm not a huge fan of him anyway, but this has just made me dislike him that little bit more, as he just get out of the way. Like, they could have got 3rd and 5th today, and instead they've ended up with 5th and 6th, with Ocon 6th place, which, if you told them that before the weekend, they're doing very, very pleased that they were with 5th and 6th, but in the circumstances of, like, Raikkonen getting pet issues and Verstappen retiring, they would have hoped for, like, they should have done better than 5th and 6th today, and yeah, very, very annoying. Like, I was pretty annoyed the whole way through when Ocon was so close to Perez, but Perez just wouldn't get out of the way. And then, yeah, unfortunately they ended up 5th and 6th, but then Kimi Raikkonen 7th, it's just a bit dull, isn't it? Raikkonen's a bit terrible, so ended up 7th. He had some brake issues, which he was ahead of Vettel, but probably would have been told to let him through anyway when Vettel caught up to the back of him, but Raikkonen ended up 7th, with Nico Hülkenberg a very good drive to 8th after overtaking quite a lot of cars at the start of his second stint. He pitted under the safety car, or the virtual safety car at the start, and just went to the end from lap 5 or something on the superstar tyres, so well done to Hülkenberg. Then Lance Stroll, very, very solid drive to 9th place after his teammate Massa got absolutely pile drived by Carlos Sainz in turn 3 on lap 1. So Stroll had to do the work for Williams, managed to do it, came 9th place, well done to him. First points for a Canadian that isn't called Villeneuve, is what the commentators were going for half the race, but still. So yeah, Stroll did very well, scores his first points in Formula 1, with Romain Grosjean in 10th. Both of those two cars, Stroll and Grosjean, 1 lap down from Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, it was Stroll did alright, Grosjean did alright. Grosjean got very bad wing damage after he got caught up when Sainz absolutely swiped him down towards turn 3 of lap 1, which then caused Sainz to spin around and just pile drive Massa into next week into turn 3. So yeah, they were pretty lucky that Grosjean managed to carry on after that. And then Jolyon Palmer once again coming 11th, just missing out on points. So yeah, not too good. He's pretty terrible. And so Hülkenberg and Palmer both pit at the same time. You saw Hülkenberg going for moves on Magnussen and Stroll and Alonso, and you saw Palmer doing absolutely nothing and getting overtaken by Lance Stroll, which is never where you want to be. So yeah, Palmer being awful as usual, coming 11th place, which ahead of the McLarens, the Saubers, and Kevin Magnussen, who had issues. So yeah, not too good for Palmer. Then Kevin Magnussen, I'm not quite sure what happened, but I'm pretty sure he had some technical issues, which made him come 12th place in the end, with Marcus Ericsson 13th, Van Dorn 14th, Verline 15th, 2 laps down. Not quite sure what happened to the Saubers. They got very little coverage on the Sky F1 channel, but still. Then Alonso, I think his engine blew up with like 4 laps to go, so Alonso DNF'd in the end, but he was on for points. Very solid drive from Alonso. And then, as I said, Kvyat, I don't know what the FIA were doing, but because Kvyat had issues on the formation lap, and when you have issues, you meant to go into the pit lane to start, but instead Kvyat just overtook everyone and went back into like 12th, where his grid place was, or something like that. And then the FIA decided to give him a drive-through, and then a few minutes later they decided that a drive-through was too harsh, so they gave him another 10-second penalty. So that was FIA. I don't know what you're doing. Just sort yourselves out. Kvyat, he got unlucky with the amount of penalties that they just gave him for no reason, and then he ended up retiring after an engine issue, I think. But yeah, not too good for Kvyat or Sainz, the two Sauruses both retiring. Verstappen with a battery power issue, not quite sure much more about that, but whether it's a Red Bull issue or a Renault issue, but still, Verstappen DNF'd, very unfortunate after his amazing start, which was like the best start for a very long time that I've seen. And then Massa also getting absolutely blown up by Sainz into turn 3. So both those 2 cars out. But yeah, on the whole, it was a decent race. I was very disappointed with Mr. Perez just ignoring team. Well, it wasn't really team orders, but he just get out of the way. It annoyed me a lot, as you can probably tell. But yeah, that was the race. It was decent. Hamilton now less far behind Vettel. And yeah, that is the end of this video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. This has been J083, and I will see you next time.